Let the bickering begin. Release the hounds. Let the political scapegoating and arguments ring loud throughout MSNBC, Fox News, and Bloomberg TV for the next 4 months into the midterm elections. We're in a recession, or maybe we're not. I'm Chris Paris, Chief Investment Officer at Oak Harvest Financial Group, and this is our investment team's midweek release, where we examine a news item, headline, or story making the rounds from publicly available sources, and we ask, is it news or is it noise for your money? This week, we're taking on the stories of, are we in a recession or not? I've been managing other people's money for about 30 years now. And the unofficial rule of thumb, and the one almost every historic data series I've ever used or seen, says a recession starts after 2 consecutive quarters of an economic contraction measured by a fall in real gross domestic product, also known as GDP. GDP is defined as a broad measure of price of goods and services. In the first quarter of the year, real GDP contracted at an annual rate of minus 1.6%, largely due to a wave of imports that came into the U.S. after being stuck offshore in the fourth quarter of 2021. Last week, the Commerce Department announced that real GDP for the second quarter shrank again by an annual amount of 0.9%. And guess what? The TV airwaves exploded with controversy. Not so fast, the White House said. It immediately sent out the troops, including Janet Yellen, across the media outlets to proclaim, no, we're not in a recession. Disregard the man behind the curtain. The numbers are lying to you, they essentially said, which I must admit does have a lot of truth to it. Why? Officially, the National Bureau of Economic Research, or NBER, defines when the U.S. is in a recession. Who and what is the NBER? Well, its website reads as this, quote, it is a private, nonprofit, nonpartisan group of economists committed to undertaking and disseminating unbiased economic research among public policymakers, business professionals, and the academic community. Its headquarters, the bastion of nonpartisan economic thinking, Cambridge, Massachusetts, the home to none other than one of my alma maters, Harvard. You can find a link to the history of the NBER in the description box below. It's really fascinating. The NBER looks at real GDP, but also it looks at employment figures, personal income, industrial production, and other factors. It has a more nebulous definition of a recession than most people think, including myself, defining it as a significant decline in economic activity that is spread across the economy and lasts more than a few months. The current Democratic political leadership in Washington, D.C. would prefer the public not think of a recession as purely 2 negative GDP quarters. Why? Because it sheds their agenda past, present, and future in a bad light. They would rather the public not think about a recession at all. Why? Because recessions have a negative connotation. They ruin investor and consumer sentiment, and they can become self-reinforcing to the downside. So the current administration is stressing that the picture is much more complicated, which they are correct about. Look at the jobs market. The unemployment rate is 3.6%. That's near a 50-year low. Wages are also improving, although they're lagging behind inflation, and 2.7 million people were hired so far this year. That data is hardly recessionary. However, at the same time, consumer confidence has collapsed to a new all-time low. High inflation is hurting everyone except the uber wealthy. The housing market is cooling fast, and the stock markets have fallen into bear market territory. And yes, we just printed 2 consecutive quarters of negative real GDP growth. And yes, if the Republicans were in power, Democrats would be calling 2 quarters of GDP decline a recession. So, are we in a recession? Strictly speaking, from everything I've ever been taught as a money manager, yes. We've had a recession in the first half of the year. Is it news for your money? Certainly it is. What might it mean going forward? Well, for that, go to our Oak Harvest website and YouTube channel and subscribe to our content. Check out our Keeping You Connected to Your Money podcast video series. There, we cover more in depth the stock market and bond markets, their moves, and what it might mean for your investments and your retirement. At Oak Harvest, we think our clients are best served by us helping them plan for their future needs instead of focusing on the past. The future is always uncertain, and that is why our advisors and retirement planning teams plan for your retirement needs first and your greed second. Give us a call to speak to an advisor and let us help you craft a financial plan that meets your retirement goals. Call us here at 877-896-0040 and schedule an advisor consultation. It's free. We're here to help you on your financial journey into and through your retirement years. I'm Chris Paris, and from the whole team here at Oak Harvest, have a blessed week.